When I saw the headline for a Channel 4 investigation, What Lies Ahead for Boris, I rather assumed that this was going to be an examination of deceit. But no, it wasn't. It was genuinely whether or not Boris might be coming back should the Conservative Party face electoral defeat, or should Liz Truss, assuming it is Liz Truss, foul up completely. It was a very interesting interview, and it initially focused on Andrew Gimson, the biographer of Boris, and he's got another biography on the way. And Gimson said that Boris was a genius, and he's put himself. He's a genius for self-promotion, of course. He's managed to put himself at the centre of political debate since 1989. Absolutely true, when he went to Brussels to report on the Jacques Delors issue and the redefinition of Europe. And could Boris return? Well, I think Gimson seems to think that he could. There was also a permanent private secretary, or private secretary, who for Mrs. Thatcher and Mr. Major, who was interviewed, and she was rather brilliant. She pointed out the failings of Boris. They're huge. But she also pointed out that these failings are being mirrored by Liz Truss, who says that she doesn't need an ethics advisor, who doesn't believe that Boris should have resigned, who doesn't seem to have learnt any of the lessons which were there to be taught. She pointed out, will the real Liz Truss stand up, which is something that was said in one of the hustings. I was going to say hustles, but they're probably interchangeable. It's not clear what Liz Truss actually believes. It's not clear what she thinks. It's not clear actually what she says. Remember, when she put out a press release saying that she was going to cut civil servants' pay, and then within 24 hours claimed that she'd been misrepresented. You didn't hear, you didn't understand. Your fault. We were ghosted. This is as she points out, a post-truth world, or a post-truthian world. And we are busy undermining our reputation, undermining our word, particularly when it comes to the Northern Ireland Protocol, and I think also when it comes to the way we are, the cavalier spirit with which we are preparing to treat the 1951 Refugee Agreement Convention. So, and Liz Truss is at the heart of both of those debates about both of those two documents, which are international agreements. And rather than going back to the table to discuss them, we're simply going to legislate against them. It is utterly, utterly shocking that any politician should think that that a previous generation's word is insignificant.